Hello there, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by today. My name is Amista. Excuse me, something in my throat. My name is Amista, and we're going to do 5 minutes of Reiki, followed by some time of doing tarot type questions and also life coaching, success coaching, for help with affirmations, whatever. I am just kind of here, just sharing what I do with the world. And so we're going to start with the Reiki. We'll do 5 minutes of that first. I am going to set the Reiki for whatever will benefit each of you the most. And if you have something very specific that you would like the Reiki to help you with, feel free to go ahead and just adjust that intention for yourself. And then after that, we will move on to the rest. So let's get the Reiki started. All right, so we're starting Reiki at 58 after the hour. That means we're going to be finishing it up at 3 after the next hour. Sunflower. Welcome, welcome. We're still doing Reiki right now. You got in the door early. I'll have you say what you need after we're done with the Reiki again. Right now, we're just focused on this. I don't want to walk all over it or be disrespectful to it because Reiki energy is very powerful. We need to be respectful, I think. You're quite welcome. Sunflower, do I know you in person? And hello, welcome. Glad to see you. I'm fantastic, my dear. How are you? Chakoya. Ooh, I like that little heart you got there. That's cool. Welcome, welcome. How are you today, my dear? We're doing Reiki. We've got still 5 minutes left. Lena Lewis. Hello, hello. Here I was worried that nobody would be able to show up at this time of day. Welcome. How are you, Miss Lena? So, Sunflower, do I know you in person? Okay. Because you called me Mama the other day, and one of the ladies that works at For Heaven's Sake calls me Mama. So I was wondering if you were her, and I just didn't know. I'm glad to hear that you're great. I'm wonderful. I'm alive. I'm breathing. Alive and breathing. You know, we have so many opportunities open to us when we're alive and breathing. How could it be anything but a good day? Ba-da-da-da-da-da. 3 more minutes left on our Reiki. You are on a lunch break? Okay. What time zone do you live in, Lena? Marie. Glad to meet you, Miss Marie. Yep. It's not snowing here. The snow is melting here. It's a sunshiny day. It's in the 40s. I went out. I did wear a jacket for my walk earlier, but still, in the 40s felt pretty good compared to some of the weather we've had not that long ago. Pacific. Yeah, we just changed our hours too, so that means it's 12:01 where you are. It's 1:01 where I am. I'm on Mountain Time Zone, so I'm only an hour ahead of you. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Laura Uribe. We're not there yet. We're still doing Reiki, honey bunny. We have another minute of Reiki. So once Reiki is over, I'll have you put your request back in the chat. But for right now, we don't, right now we just respect the Reiki. Reiki's pretty major. Reiki's pretty major. How many people here actually know what Reiki is for? Sequoia, you've been hanging around a long time. You should. I know Anne does. Does anybody else know what Reiki is good for that's in the room right now? Mm-hmm. 62 tomorrow. Good for you. 64 here right now. This is supposed to be our high. Healing. Healing what? What's your favorite thing to use it for, Elena? What does that mean? You tried to take a course. Modi Live. Hello, hello, welcome. We're still doing Reiki right now, honey bunny. Is this your first time to the room? I haven't seen you here before. Not under that name, at least. We're doing Reiki and talking Reiki for a few minutes today, I think. Just kind of decided that. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are going to get to messages from Spirit and affirmations and all that stuff here pretty soon, actually. Really? I bet she had quite the reaction. All right. That sounds good to me, honey bunny. What kind of work do you do? La, da, 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 da. Debbie Hancock. Hello, hello, hello. All right, so here's what's fixing to happen, guys. I'm going to prep y'all right now. So I'm only going to be here for a total of an hour. I've already been here for 8 minutes. I am not ending the Reiki just yet, but I am getting ready to. After I end the Reiki, that's when you put in your request for whatever you would like me to help you with, whether it's an affirmation, whether it's a question, or whether it's a message from Spirit. Oh, okay. I've done a little bit of work like that. That can be tiring. Customer service, especially. Let's see. So whenever I do end the Reiki, then if you guys have a question, just put the question straight up in chat. If you guys want a message from Spirit, put the word Spirit in chat. If you guys want help with an affirmation, put the word affirmation in chat, and then we'll talk about what you need an affirmation to help you do. If you need some other kind of mentoring, put that in chat, and we'll figure out what it is that you need. And so I'm just going to take you guys in the order that you show up after I finish the Reiki. And we will just go until I run out of time. And then you guys can see in the description box how to get my attention to get into the front of the line if you want to make sure you get chosen today. But other than that, I'm just going to take people in the order that they show up. All right. So, Lena, you're too early. You're too early. That does not count. I haven't finished the Reiki yet. I was prepping you guys. All right, here we go. I'm wrapping up the Reiki now. So now is when you guys start writing in the chat about whatever it is that you need. Meanwhile, I'm going to clear a deck of cards, and then I'll take start my list. Laura, I think you were the first one that came in after I cleared the Reiki, so you're going to be first one on my list. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da. So here's my thing, guys. Some of you have been watching me a while. You know that one of my pet peeves is to disrespect the Reiki. Because Reiki is basically God energy, and I'm asking it to help you guys in whatever way you need. So I don't want to walk all over it by going on to something else ahead of time. That just is, it's disrespectful. That's just the bottom line. So that's why we wait until after the Reiki's done to move on to the next thing, because we don't want to take the Reiki for granted. We want to receive it. We want to recognize it. I've used Reiki for all kinds of incredible things. Financial improvement, I've seen for some of my clients, amazing. I've used Reiki for a little girl that was run over, that they didn't know if she would make it. And then once they decided she might make it, she had 6 different surgeries she was going to have to do before she got out of the hospital. And then by the time she got out of the hospital 4 days later, and she didn't have to have any one of those 6 major surgeries because of the Reiki. So Reiki is kind of a big deal. We want to treat it well. All right, so that's why I'm such a stickler on that. All right, so let's see. I said Laura is going to be first. So Laura, Uribe, message from Spirit. Next up was Sunflower, message from Spirit. Chakoya, message from Spirit. And Frode, or Frody, I'm not sure, message from Spirit. You would think as long as I've known you, I would know how to say your last name. Modi Live, message from Spirit. I don't know if I'm going to get to all of you guys, but I'm going to put you all on the list. Sunflower, I think I already got. Debbie Hancock. I have been considering that. Debbie, I have a question for you. If I did a tarot class online, would you be interested? Okay, I really kind of need to know like where people are that watch me with tarot. So would you be interested in something that was a super beginner class that just taught how to choose your first deck, what you need to know about that deck, how to work with that deck so that you can be accurate with it? Or would you need something that would be more advanced, like how to read your tarot deck psychically? Where kind of are you on that? Lena Lewis, you'll be after Debbie. Another message from Spirit. Let's see. Shannon. Question. Ooh, that should be an interesting question. Should she try online dating? I'm going to reword that question. Those of you that have been around me a while, you know that I like to reword questions. My thought is Spirit's not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. That's the whole point of free will. We get to do whatever we want. But we can always ask if something would be a good idea for us. And get Spirit's opinion rather than Spirit's command. Know what I mean? So I'm going to reword that question on you. Okay, Laura's up first with a message from Spirit. Let's see, I'm going to be here 46 more minutes. After Laura is Sunflower, then Shakoya, then Anne, then Modi Live, then Debbie Hancock, then Lena Lewis, then Shannon. So no guarantees that I'm going to get to all of you guys. This is more than I usually have on my list. We'll see how it goes. La da da da. Evening, which would be afternoon my time. So the whole beginning thing is what you would be into. All right. We might try that. We might try that. Okay, Laura. Message from Spirit. I think your cards are ready, my dear. We're putting them down. Ooh, 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 ooh. What are we talking about here? Here, my friend. All right. Ms. Laura, we've got the Lovers showing up in reverse. For me, Lovers, when it's right side up, talks about partnership, talks about things going well, people collaborating well together, getting good results from that. This can be a marriage that's working out really well. This can be a boyfriend-girlfriend type situation that's working out really well. This can be a business partnership, a friendship, a good family relationship. But you got this in reverse. So the message is similar. It's in the same neighborhood, but it's not going the same direction. Just means that we have a situation with somebody that you feel like you're partnered up to, whether it's romantically or otherwise, where you guys have met some kind of stalemate and you're not really on the same page right now. Okay? Now, I think the person that we're looking at is going to be a King of Cups kind of character. So for me, a King of Cups is going to be somebody who, you don't have to be in a romantic relationship with them, but I can tell you for sure that they are interested in girls romantically. You might be, you might not be. But this is somebody who can be very emotional. They're very in tune with their feelings. They will express their feelings when they feel like it. This is also somebody who can have a poker face when they want to. And then when they do want to share their feelings, they're pretty good at doing that when they choose. They're very in control of how much of their feelings they let other people see. Okay? But this is somebody who can be really very sensitive, thoughtful, considerate, all of that good stuff. So this tells me that you've got somebody that fits this profile that you're having a hard time being on the same page with right now, Ms. Laura. Okay? Hello there, Cheryl. Thank you for being here. What would you like today, Mr. Sherrill? Okay, so, best advice for you, Miss Laura. We come up with the Death card. It's not creepy or anything, is it? We've got a skull, a snake, I don't know, is that a raven? Not creepy at all. The Seven of Swords showing up in reverse. And the Three of Pentacles also in reverse. So what is your advice here? Okay, so basically it's time for a change. This partnership is not working out. So with this Death card, it is time for a change. For me, a Death card talks about transformation. It doesn't talk about somebody kicking the bucket or even a pet kicking the bucket. It just talks about making some kind of big change. Okay, so this is saying, look, this is not working anymore. Okay, so it's time to change things up. Now we have some advice about changing things up. With our Seven of Swords in reverse, for me, this talks about doing something kind of spur of the moment, not something that is really planned out so much. So this may be that maybe this hasn't happened yet and it's coming up for you, Laura. And so this would say, whenever this comes up, you've got to make some big changes and you need to do them like right now. So this is thinking on the feet. This is doing something that's impulsive maybe, but definitely not planned out. Okay. So your change, this may be kind of a surprise whenever you see this going this way, that you're not getting along with this person. And it may be that, okay, well, I need to pivot. Now I need to focus on how am I going to get this accomplished, whatever it is that you normally accomplish with this person. How am I going to take care of this? And this talks about pivoting and taking care of it in some other type of way. So definitely making a transformation here in how you normally do this. And I know that that transformation does not include this other person anymore, because we end up with the Three of Pentacles in reverse, which says that this is somebody that you were planning on collaborating with, but that is not happening now. That other person is not able to bring their portion to the collaboration table. So now you've got to find somebody else who can collaborate with you, or you've got to do it on your own. Typically for me, this card in reverse says you're doing it on your own. So you're making a change. You're walking away from collaborating with that person that you consider yourself a partner with. It's sudden. I don't think that you planned this change, but you just realize if things are going to get done, I've got to move now. And you just start handling all that responsibility all on your own. Okay? This could easily be a breakup. But I'm going to tell you, if this is a breakup, which it could be with that Lovers in reverse easily, with the King of Cups, this is a really messed up situation in my mind. This is the kind of situation that messes up your mind. Because the breakup is you're breaking away from somebody who actually does have feelings about you, which makes it rough. Because you can realize that things aren't going to work out and still love somebody. And that makes it really hard to accept. So I can see where you would be coming from on that. This basically, yeah. This card is the one that says, don't try to do things with this person anymore. Okay? Don't try to do things with this person anymore. Death thing, this is a big transformation for you. You're having to pivot. You weren't expecting to have to do it, but you're having to pivot. That is the most logical thing to do with that Seven of Swords, because Swords is all about logic. Three of Pentacles, like I said, we're done collaborating with this person. You're quite welcome. I think those are the worst. It is so much easier to break up with somebody that now you hate them because they were such a jackass, or you know that they're just being a jerk. It's easy to break up with those people. Bye. Don't let the door hit you in the behind. Peace out, baby. The ones that you really care for and that you just know it's just not compatible and you wouldn't be happy long term, those are, oh my gosh. Those are rough. Okay, so we got Laura taken care of. Yep, I think spontaneity would be a good thing. All right. La da 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 da. I definitely have to be on time today because I've got an appointment after. Who's next? Sunflower. Okay, I'm going to be here, 38 more minutes. Sunflower's up next. After that will be Chakoya, then Anne, then Moody Live, then Debbie Hancock, then Lena Lewis, then Shannon, and then Cheryl. And if you guys feel like you need to have a message before I leave today, then you can see in my description box how to jump to the front of the line. However, if you don't feel like you need to have one right here on this video, but you still would like to have a question answered, then you can always get a 1-question or a 2-question reading off of my website, or you can schedule a live reading with me. Either way, I'll blow your socks off no matter what you get. I'm not cocky or anything. I just know I'm good. Okay, Sunflower. I feel like I have makeup right there. All right, Sunflower's message from Spirit. La da 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 da. Sunflower. Okay, here we go. Here's your situation, my dear. Queen of Swords, look at you. Taking care of business, not letting any bullshit get past the throne. Really focused on some kind of goal or target and staying focused with it. High Priest, you're using that real focus to actually manifest those things that you want to manifest. So you're definitely taking some type of action towards manifesting a goal, and you're not suffering fools lightly, which means if you're trying to reach a goal and somebody comes at you and says, oh, I can help you with that and blah, 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 and they're just full of baloney, get them down the road, Jack. You're going to spot that. Okay, so you're being very careful and very picky about who you work with to create your manifestations right now, Sunflower. And when you need to work by yourself, I don't think you have any trouble with that. But definitely if you have any vendors or anybody that you're having to hire on or that wants to collaborate with you and volunteer to help you or whatever, you're not letting just anybody in on this just because they happen to show up. You're making sure that you're very picky about whoever it is that you involve in this situation. Okay? So let's look at your best advice around this situation. Best advice starts off with our 6 of Pentacles here, followed by Prince of Cups showing up in reverse, followed by Sir Nunos also showing up in reverse. So here's the thing. No wonder you're being so picky. Okay. Okay. I think really this is not so much an actionable heads up as Spirit is giving you uh, like their version of your story so that you can look at it from a different perspective and figure out what you want to do. Because I would not take this, what I'm seeing here, as actual actionable advice. So this is probably more like you get to do whatever you want to do, but we think that you should realize ... Okay. So what we have coming up is the Six of Pentacles. Now, the Six of Pentacles talks to me about some type of equal energy exchange. A lot of times when I have a Six of Pentacles show up for me, that means that I've got a reading that's imminent, where I am reading for somebody and they are paying me for that reading. That's that equal energy exchange there, okay? So this could be you working at your job and getting paid fairly for the job that you do. That could be showing up here. But this is definitely talking about some type of equal energy exchange. And barter also counts. It doesn't necessarily have to be dollars or pesos or dinero or whatever, okay? Now, Prince of Cups showing up in reverse is telling me that you're not really enjoying whatever this is, where this even exchange is. So even though normally to me this would be a good card, reciprocal change of energy, this doesn't feel good to you. So whatever it is that you're being paid for, that you're bartering for, whatever the service is that you're giving, I don't think you're really enjoying doing that service, okay? Because you're not, it's fair pay. So it's not that you're not being paid enough. It's fair pay or fair trade, whatever the situation may be, but you just don't really enjoy it. So Nuno showing up in reverse, this is really the only actionable thing, and it kind of goes along with what I was saying earlier. It says, be aware. It's basically calling you to responsibility. It's saying the idea of you not enjoying what you're doing to make your living or to create this even energy exchange, the idea that you're not enjoying that, Spirit is calling you to look at that and to recognize that. And to basically, Spirit is saying, yeah, there's a lot of people that think that that's the way the world should be. And maybe you're one of them, that, nobody really likes to go to work. But Spirit's saying, asking you to look at that again and say, is that really the way you want to live your life? Doing something that you're not happy about, that you don't feel good about, that you don't feel fulfilled in? Is that toxic situation one that you want to spend the rest of your life doing? Spirit's really asking you to take a good look at this and decide, am I on my path? Am I happy? Am I satisfied? Am I fulfilled? And if you're not, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Okay? Big question. Big question. All right? Okay, so that was Sunflower. Next up is Sequoia. Message from Spirit. I'm going to be here for 32 more minutes. Sequoia's up next. After Sequoia is Anne, then Modilad, then Debbie, then Lena, then Shanna, then Cheryl. Shannon, I should say. All right. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. What do we have? Sequoia. You're quite welcome. If you think that's amazing, you should get a private reading with me, seriously. I love doing what I do. Sequoia, 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 Sequoia. All right, let me wet my whistle here before we get into yours, Miss Sequoia. Okay, honey bunny, we're starting with the Prince of Swords, covered by the Lord. What on earth is going on with you? Da, 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 da. Okay, so this talks about a message that is coming through from somebody who has a certain amount of influence in your life. This is probably, I mean, this could be somebody like a landlord, a landlady. This could be like a boss, a supervisor. This could be a parent. This could be a partner. You know, this is somebody who has influence in your life. You know, they could say certain things that would change your trajectory. Okay. Some people have more influence than others, but this is somebody who does have an influence that I'm seeing. Okay. So you have a message coming in from somebody who has a respectable amount of influence on your life right now. Okay. I am going to tell you too that this person, whoever this is somebody who actually has high integrity. They do have high standards for the people around them, but they also have high standards for themselves. This is not an unhealthy type of situation. This is somebody who, as long as you're living up to their standards, they're happy. If you're not, they'll let you know. This is somebody who, you know, they just have integrity. Okay. So this is not necessarily a bad thing. It can be a stern thing. We're going to dig in as we see more. It doesn't even have to be a stern thing, but it could be. Okay. So some kind of message coming in from somebody who has influence over your life. Best advice. Ace of Swords in reverse. Seven of Wands in reverse. Ooh, baby, baby. And the Prince of Wands. Okay, so here's what I think is going on here with this advice. I would say that this person is really, I don't know if they're actually going to ask for your input about something, but they are going to put themselves in a position where they can receive your input about something. Okay, Chakoya, with this Ace of Swords in reverse, this for me is a card that talks about passing along good information to somebody in your sphere of influence. All right. Now, just because this person is a landlord or landlady or a boss or a supervisor or a partner, and you know they have a heavy influence on you and what may happen in your life, doesn't mean that they're not in your sphere of influence. They are. Okay. They are, because they can be influenced by things that you say, even if it's just to make them think about things a little bit. Okay, so you have influence over them too, just probably not the same influence as they have. Okay, so with this Ace of Swords in reverse, this is you passing along good information to them. So they may be asking you about something that they're not able to get the skinny on from somebody else. You're the only one that can give them the skinny, or you're the only one that's not going to be a yes woman around them and tell them the real deal. Now, your next bit of advice here with the Seven of Wands in reverse does say, as you are passing along this information, you want to make sure you're giving this person the real deal. Seven of Wands is a little bit vulnerable when it's in reverse. When it's right side up, it's like, I've got my boundaries. I'm not letting you cross my boundaries. When it's in reverse, it's, I'm letting those boundaries down. I'm showing you the real me. I'm showing you what I really think. I'm showing you how this really works in my world where the rubber meets the road, you know? And that can be a little bit vulnerable. Sometimes people get that type of information and take advantage of it. But this talks about that this is a really good time to let down those boundaries and just let this person see the real deal as you're communicating with them. Okay? And then with the Prince of Wands, whatever this is that you guys are talking about, I think you've got a good idea about how to handle that situation that they're asking you about, or that they are open to hearing what you have to say about it, at the very least, because they are coming to you with communication. Okay, I want to be really clear, Shakoya, this is not you going to somebody that you think needs to fix something and saying da 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 da, and they're going to listen. No, they are coming to you with the original communication. With that Knight of Swords, they are saying something to you that lets you know that the door is open and that they would like to hear your input. Okay, so don't just go barging into somebody's office, because that's not going to work out well for you. Whenever this person opens up to you, that's when we're talking about is going to work out well. Now, you have a good idea about what to do about this situation. And I think that after your conversation with this person, you're going to be able to move forward with it. Okay. But this person is used to being in charge, so you can't just do it and then say something later. Quite welcome, Ms. Shakoya. Okay, next up is Anne for a message from Spirit. I'm going to be here 25 more minutes. "25 more minutes, 25 more minutes. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Miss Anne Ferd. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. That's interesting. Okay, my dear, you got two majors showing up in your situation. We're starting off with the Hermit, covered by the Death card. Second time we're seeing that today. This time it's in reverse. Was it reversed last time? No. Okay, so Death card in reverse covering the Hermit for your situation, Ms. Anne. The Hermit talks about this idea of spending some time by yourself to really think some things through and figure out what your priorities are and where you want to move forward. Okay? With the Death card in reverse, this is saying that basically you're taking some time to do this and you're realizing that there are some improvements that could be made that would benefit you. But with the Death card in reverse, you're refusing to make those transformations. Okay? So, here's the thing. When the Death card shows up in reverse, it's really talking about this idea of these transformations are right in front of us. We know we need to make them, but we're not gonna. And usually the reason we're not gonna, and I'm telling you all this because when you notice this situation, you have the power to change this energy because you have free will. Not everything that shows up on my table has to be true. We can change it. Okay? And this would be a good one to try to change, actually. Because when this Death card shows up in reverse, what she's saying is nobody's making any changes here. Even though they should, nobody's doing it. Why? Usually people are not going to make those changes because as they're looking at their situation and realizing that they should, that it would benefit them to, they are also thinking about, but I don't know how it's going to affect me in this area of my life, or in this area of my life, or in this area of my life. And right now I'm comfortable in those other areas of my life. I'm not sure I want to rock the boat and do better in this other area that is not so hot right now, if it means that I'm going to sacrifice on these other areas. And instead of actually figuring out how it would impact, we decided we're going to stay in our little safe place because fear locks us in. It's funny, when fear locks us into something, you can hear the lock catch. You can see the cage around yourself. But what you forget is that the key is on the floor, right in front of the door. All we have to do is some self-work to pick that up and get ourselves free. Okay, so that's what the Death card talks about. It talks about a situation like that. So if you notice yourself realizing that you would be better off if you changed a certain thing, and then you catch yourself letting fear lock you up in that cell door where you are right now, then you want to start changing that energy. You want to start not buckling down to that fear. And usually what defeats fear is getting more information. So get some more information, but don't let fear lock you in. Okay, so I feel like I'm already giving advice and I haven't even looked at the advice cards. Let's look at those, shall we? All right. Yep. 50 ways to leave your lover. 50 ways to leave that fear behind. Two of Swords. Two of Cups. What does that say? Two twos. And we have an Eight of Cups. all even numbers here. So 2s have to do with decisions. Okay. 2s also have to do with balance. All right. So here's the thing. 2 of Swords basically says you have to make that decision. If you're going to leave fear behind, you have to make a conscious decision that that's in the past. That's not what I want. And once you've made that decision, you have to act on that decision. You have to follow through with it. Okay? Now, let's talk a little bit more about this decision with the 2 of Cups right behind it. This says, I'm going to decide to do what I want to do. I'm going to decide to do those things that I love. I am going to decide to do those things that are going to improve my life. Okay? So getting over that fear is deciding I'm going to do some things that make me feel good. All right? And that is what's going to help you create an 8 of Cups, which is where you walk away from those things that are actually leaving you exhausted or depleted. Okay? So follow your happiness. Follow those things that you want to do, those things that make you feel fulfilled. And by going in that direction, you're automatically going away from those things that are not good for you. Okay? So don't let fear lock you in. Set some goals that are for some good things and follow through on them. And when you start going that direction, you're no longer going in the direction of staying in that safe, but not really safe space. It feels safe. It's not safe. Hope that makes sense for you. So that was Anne. Next up is Modi Live. I hope Modi Live is still in the room. Modi Live, message from Spirit. See what we get from Mo. Da 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 da. La da da da. La da da da. Gonna be here 18 more minutes. After Mo is Debbie Hancock, then Lena Lewis, then Shannon, and then Cheryl. Whoop whoop, yay, glad to hear it. You're quite welcome, Ms. Anne. Thank you, thank you. Okay, mo. Here we go. Wow, you've got kind of a similar message as far as advice to Anne. We're going to dig into this and find out more. We're going to get more juice on it. All right, so mo. Here's what you have, my dear. You've got the King of Wands showing up. Covered by the Ten of Swords. All right. We like that card, by the way. Just so you know, in my room, we like this card. So, King of Wands showing up. All right. So, Mo, let's talk about this personality of the King of Wands. I don't feel like it's you. I feel like this is somebody in your sphere of influence that you have been interacting with, if this has happened already. And I think that it probably has. It feels like it has to me. So a King of Wands is somebody who is very outgoing. Like they don't know somebody who's not a friend to them. They'll talk to anybody and everybody. They try to be very positive and optimistic most of the time. They're very creative. They think outside the box. They don't let culture or society tell them how they should run their life. So these people are people who are very friendly, very happy mostly. Excuse me. But they're not necessarily going to fit the norms of culture. They may be a little bit eccentric, but generally they're very charming people. So eccentricities end up being kind of endearing to most people, just because they are very friendly and upbeat. Okay. They're interesting. They're interesting people if you want to know how they tick. Now, with the Ten of Swords covering this up, Modi, this is telling me that there's been some type of interactions going on between you and this King of Wands person. And a king does not have to be a male. For my cards, a king does not have to be a male. This just basically means that this person, as far as romantically, they are drawn to females. That's how my decks generally work for me. Doesn't mean they're necessarily drawn to you, just means that that their proclivity romantically leads towards females. Okay, if I had a queen come up, I would say that that person normally goes towards males as far as for romantic situations or partners. So with a king showing up, this person normally goes towards a female whenever they're looking at romance. Okay, so could be a male or could be a female. Doesn't matter. All I know is that this person likes females. Okay, now this person in your life who is very positive, who likes females romantically, who is very outgoing, a little bit eccentric, but makes everybody happy around them. You and them have had some type of long-term either debate or maybe even source of attention that's been going back and forth for a while. Okay? With this Ten of Swords, we're putting that to bed. We're done with interacting in a way that's tense or interacting in a way that's snippy or sarcastic or has these low vibrational vibe undertones. Done with that. Putting it to bed. Okay? So this doesn't necessarily mean you're cutting off the relationship, although it could, but it does mean that whatever was causing tension between you and this person, done. We're not doing that anymore. Okay? Now, let's look at your best advice here. Six of Pentacles shows up in reverse. Seven of Cups in reverse. We like that one better in reverse, by the way. Prince of Cups showing up here. Okay? So with our Six of Pentacles showing up in reverse, that's telling me that whatever it was that was going on between you and this King of Wands personality, that was not an even and fair exchange of energy. Okay? So one of you was giving much more than the other one. One of you is much more committed than the other one. Okay? Probably you. Usually when this shows up on my spread, usually it's the person that I'm reading for that has been giving a lot more into the situation. I think in all the time that I've been reading, I've only had one that was the bigger receiver rather than the bigger giver sitting across the table from me. All right? So probably you're the bigger giver in this situation with this person. Now, here's the thing. With the Seven of Cups in reverse, you have already been thinking about how you can make this situation better. And I feel like by making this situation better, Mo, you're also making your own life better. So whatever this is, this tension, this debate thing, this is something that has been improved or has been impacting the quality of your life. So it probably has you tense even when you're not sitting across from this person or talking to this person on the phone or whatever. This kind of has you tense or on edge like all the time. So being able to fix this situation or end this situation is something that would help improve your life. And I think you've been looking at different things you can do to improve your life already. I think now you've decided, you know what, I'm going to recognize that I'm giving a lot more than this person. As much as I hate to say it, I think I'm giving a lot more than this person. They're not as invested in this situation as I am. And now it's really time for me to focus on something I can do to make my life better. Actually, dealing with that is one thing I can do to make my life better. So here's the deal. Having that tension or debate come to an end, that's a real positive for you. Okay? That's a real positive. If this was an argument, then you were probably arguing with somebody that you were never going to win with because they didn't argue in a sane and rational way. All right? Now, last card. Prince of Cups as the advice. This basically, for me, after seeing that this was an uneven energy exchange, for me, that Prince of Cups tells me it's time to focus on letting that be dead and gone and in the past. And it's also time to focus on some self-care, doing some things that look out for you, doing some things that improve your self-esteem, doing some things that make you happy so that your self-esteem can come up. Okay? So that's what I've got for you, Mo. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense yet, give it about 24 hours. Sometimes these things haven't actually happened yet. La da 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 da. Okay, I've got 10 more minutes. Debbie Hancock. You're next on the list. I hope you're still in the room. Debbie Hancock. Okay, message from Spirit for Debbie Hancock. After that is Lena. After that is Shannon. After that is Cheryl. You're quite welcome. Did it make sense to you yet? Awesome. Thank you for checking in, Ms. Debbie. I appreciate that. Debbie Hancock, here we go. Wow, you got 2 majors on your situation as well. Somebody else did that earlier. Was that Cheryl? Was that Anne? I haven't read for Cheryl yet today. La da 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 da. Ooh. Ew. Okay, Debbie. I've been in your boots before. High Priestess showing up in reverse for your situation, and what that is covered by is the Devil card. Sir Nunos. Right side up. Right side up. That's one I like to see better when he's in reverse than right side up, to be honest with you. So here's the thing. There is something toxic going on in your sphere of influence. I really don't think it's you doing this toxic thing that I'm seeing on the table, because I think that this toxic thing has you totally confused. So you could have somebody around you, just for an example, this may not be exactly what's happening, which, by the way, guys, there are piggyback messages. Those are a real thing. Excuse me, just because I'm reading for one person doesn't mean Spirit might not piggyback a message on that message for you. So if you notice it resonating, please use it appropriately in your life. If it's not resonating, then don't try to make it fit, please. Don't wash it, scrunch it, stamp on it, slit holes in it, anything else. If it doesn't fit, let whoever needs to hear it, hear it. Okay, now, ba-da-da-da-da-da. So for an example here, this could be somebody in your sphere of influence who has some type of addiction problem, whether it's drugs, whether it's porn, whether it's video games, whatever, and you're really confused about this. And maybe the reason you're really confused about it is because they're telling you one thing and they're doing another. And I think you would like to believe them. I really do think there's somebody in your life that is telling you one thing and doing another, whether it's about addictions or something else. And I think that you would really like to believe this person. It would be so much easier. Your life would be so much easier if what they were telling you was the truth. But I think you're also getting to a point that it doesn't work to throw the red flags under the carpet and pretend they don't exist anymore. You know, that carpet's getting kind of lumpy now. Hard to walk on it. Uncomfortable. Okay, so you're really confused about something going on with somebody, because it seems like they're telling you one thing that you would like for that to be true, but it seems like the evidence is pointing another direction, and that's making you really confused at this moment. Okay, so let's look at your advice here. 3 of Cups, the Magician, 3 of Wands. All right. 3 of Cups, the Magician, and the 3 of Wands. Here's the thing. 3 of Cups, to me, it talks about good times with friends. And in this case, we're talking about true friends. Friends that aren't just going to run just because stuff's getting deep around you. We're also talking about people who are going to shoot it to you straight. Okay? So if you're talking to them about a situation and they have some insight, they're not going to let you just keep hanging in this situation. They're going to say something. These are good friends, is what I'm picking up on this card. Not just social, I can go out and have drinks with these people friends, but these are good friends. A good friend can say those things to you that you really don't want to hear. And it's a little bit more bearable because it comes from them than from somebody else. And a good friend isn't going to shy away from saying those things that you need to hear. And I think that's what we've got going on here. You have some really solid friends around you who are willing, because they care so much about you, to actually tell you how things are and not candy coat it. They're able to look in your windows and say what it looks like from the outside. This is my objective perspective here. All right. So best advice is talk to those friends that aren't afraid to say even the rough stuff to you. Now, obviously, they're also going to say the good stuff to you too. That's the easy part, right? But don't shy away from those friends who care enough to actually say things that you might not like to hear. Okay? I feel like they can help you a lot in this particular situation. I feel like they can give you a wake-up call. They may even know some information that you don't know that they can share with you. And so it's not just their perspective, but they also have information that they can share with you. So be around those friends who you really respect and who you really trust and who are not just yes men or yes women. Okay, that's the first bit of advice. Second bit of advice with this Magician coming up. This says that basically once you're empowered by your friends, which you will be by having this information, even if it's information you don't want to hear, it's what is it that makes us free, man? It's the truth. Lies don't set us free. Illusions don't set us free. The truth is what sets us free. And so these people are really empowering you, even if it's not easy to hear it, to become the magician. And when you become the magician, you're manifesting those things that you want in your life. Now, you can't manifest what you want in your life unless you know what you've got to work with. Right? Right? So I think that after you've talked to your friends, I think you know what you've got to work with. Now you can manifest those things that you want in your life. And then once you start to see how powerful you are with manifesting those things that you want in your life, it's time to make some long-term plans and set some goals. What do I actually want to do? Where do I want to be 10 years from now? What is it going to take for me to do that? It's time to start setting those long-term goals. Now, how does all that tie in with this person that's not telling you the truth? Your friends know the truth. They can help you understand the truth. Okay? Once you know the truth, then you can start manifesting those things that you want to manifest, because not knowing the truth and being stuck in this illusion has kept you from moving forward progressively in your life the way that you would if you were in a healthy situation. It's time to make up for some lost time here. And it's time to set some goals that you have that you can keep looking towards that are going to keep you on track, so that nothing else is going to come up and just distract you like this. If whatever else comes up is not helping you to reach your goals, then you already know, I don't have time for that in my life. And so you make those goals and you stick with them. Okay? That's for Miss Debbie. I hope that makes sense for you, my dear. Michael. Nobody likes a lumpy carpet is right, man. It's a very simple rule, but it's not a very easy rule. And you know why? Because usually if we're lying to ourselves, we're lying about other people and about how they feel about us or how they treat us. We're making up some kind of excuse for them. You're quite welcome, Miss Debbie. And the reason we usually do that, which is why we usually lie to ourselves, the reason we usually do that is because there are some people out there, and not all, most people are good, but there's a few people out there who, if we really faced how they treated us, that would be a really ugly truth. All the implications of that would be a really ugly truth. And so for those of us who like to think that people are good and people have good intentions and people are for us, that can be a very difficult truth to look at. We would rather believe the jabber coming out of their mouth rather than their actions. right, guys, 59 minutes and 47 seconds. I think I'm going to take off because I have an appointment, so I can't really go over like I normally go over for a few minutes. So I am going to take off, guys. Thank you very much for being here. To those of you that I did not get to, I do apologize. If you need to have a question answered quickly, then always you can get on my website and use my one question reading. Or if you need a live reading, of course, you can schedule that as well. And otherwise, catch me next time around, and we'll see if we can get to it next time. All right, guys, thank you very much for being here. Everybody have a fantastic, wonderful, thrilling, and peaceful and free day. Peace out, everybody.